You're probably asking yourself, why did they leave me? Why didn't they give me closure? Why didn't they give me an apology? Why don't they want to fix things? And how come they never communicated their feelings? Well, it's because they lack of accountability. And in this video, I'm going to provide a deep explanation and a prep talk. So the next time that this happens, you could give yourself the apology that you need and you can give yourself the closure that you need. And this is for any type of relationship, platonic, professional, romantic. It applies to everything. Now, the reason why people choose not to apologize, choose not to fix things, is because they rather walk away than to solve an issue that takes effort. And they are accustomed to the pattern of them walking away and avoiding situations. There's nothing that you can do about it to change it. That is who they are. Sometimes they're not even aware that this is a pattern of theirs. And when they're in a threatening situation, they're in a fight or flight mode, they choose to flight. Now, this is not giving them an excuse for their lack of accountability. This is me calling them out. It is not your problem to validate their feelings. Oh, I'm sorry that you can't hold yourself accountable. Why are you validating their feelings? That was so cringe the way I just said that. But you don't need to validate their feelings by the fact that they can't hold themselves accountable. You don't need to be like, oh, it's okay. I understand that you choose to walk away from things without discussing it. I totally respect your peace. What peace? There is no peace. What peace are you talking about? They're literally walking away saying that they're protecting their peace, but by protecting their peace, they're avoiding accountability. That is not protecting your peace. You're actually going to give yourself more destruction because you're going to keep repeating the same cycle over and over again. And you're not protecting your peace. You're avoiding things and you're not going to grow. That is who they are as people, and you can't do anything to change them. It's only up to them, and they need to hold themselves accountable and have that self-awareness saying, you know what, I know I lack accountability. How can I start putting myself in situations where I can be emotionally accountable? Now, if you are with someone who is like that, where they choose to walk away, they don't want to work on things, they don't want to hold themselves accountable, and they say, nope, I don't want to fix things. Nope, it is what it is. Walk away. Don't beg for them to change their mind. Don't try to prove a point to them. Their mind is already set on walking away. That is their behavior style. Their mind is already set on walking away and you can't change them. So what you have to do is walk away. Now, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. You also need to take accountability as well. In any type of situation you are in, both people need to hold themselves accountable. You may have done something to hurt someone, which is why they're being avoidant, and now they're being avoidant, which is hurting you. You need to be able to hold yourself accountable. You can't just think that you are perfect and blame it all on them. I've been on the side where I've been blamed for everything, but when I look at them, I'm like, excuse me? You're blaming me? Okay? So why would you be with someone who's going to blame you for everything? They can't hold themselves accountable. Walk away, and don't be the individual that blames people for everything. You're just showing proof that you can't even hold yourself accountable. So back to the situation. When you're in the situation where you need to walk away and they don't want to give you an apology, they don't want to give you closure, you're going to work on yourself and you're going to work on the flaws that you have, because that is the best way that you're going to give yourself that closure. That is the best way that you are going to give yourself that apology. You can't wait around until someone makes up their mind about you. You can't wait around for years thinking that one day it's going to click in their head. By the time that you've worked on yourself and by the time that you've held yourself accountable, their apology does not matter. The closure does not matter. It is too late. You've worked yourself to the point where it's like, I've given myself the apology. I've given myself the closure. I'm a better person. I am so better off without the situation being in my life. And to get a little personal, in my past relationship, yeah, I know I've done things that hurted the other person. I don't know if that person knows that they've done things to hurt me. I don't know. But all I know is I've done things to hurt that person. And in that relationship, I was actively working on it. And me as a person, I'm pretty blunt. And sometimes my bluntness says inappropriate and immature things. It's not my bluntness that's the problem. It's my lack of maturity that is the problem. So I was actively working on it. And now that I'm out of this relationship, does that mean I have stopped working on my problem? No, because I'm not working on it for this person. I'm working on it for myself. The way I see it as well, when you are in that relationship, when you are in that friendship, when you are in that professional work life, you are not coming into these things perfect. You're coming into these things with flaws. And when you're in these type of relationships, people are going to have to be accustomed to the worst side of you and also the best side of you. But if they don't want to stay when they're experiencing the worst side of you for a brief moment, but you're self-aware and you have that accountability to take action on the worst side of you, but they don't want to wait and they don't want to be patient, they're not for you. Leave that employer, leave that friendship, and leave that relationship, because someone who is going to be with you regardless is going to have to experience the worst side of you. And when they experience the worst side of you, this is where your character of, I have this accountability, I have this self-awareness, and I have this determination to become better. That is where your true character shows. That is where your authentic self shows. But unfortunately, they don't want to see it. So you walk away. You don't want me when I'm working on myself, but you want me when I'm the best version of myself. That doesn't make sense. Put two and two together. You can't have the best version of me if you're not willing to experience the worst version of me. You did the best that you can and you held yourself accountable. And that is the best thing that you can do for yourself. The other person, I don't even know. We're not even going to talk about them. Something's wrong with them, okay? Whatever. The other person, they're in la la land. They think everything needs to be perfect and they don't understand that people have flaws. Walk away. And again, back to my personal life, when I realized that I have toxic behaviors that I've never noticed about myself, I immediately started working on them. And when the relationship ended, I immediately went to therapy to work on them. And the next person in my life will get to experience the more mature person of me. And it is what it is. Like, who knows if I'm in the next relationship, or who knows, a next new friend that I encounter, something might click in my head where I realize qualities about myself and I might accidentally hurt the person. I'm going to take accountability for it. You're growing as a person. People leave your life. It is what it is. The best way to navigate life is to take accountability and not to view yourself as a perfect person, but to view yourself as a growing human that is always evolving. Now, one thing I want to point out, people who cannot hold themselves accountable will be stuck in a same cycle. And I want you to think of it as a video game. Imagine you're playing your favorite video game and you have the final boss. When you take on this final boss, you are growing so much in that game. You have a new world, you probably unlock a new skin, I don't know. But you've gone to the level that you kept imagining on for years and years, and now you're finally at the level that you wanted to be at once you've defeated that final boss. And I want you to think of accountability as the final boss. When you conquer a situation and you hold yourself accountable, you grow exponentially. Hopefully I said that word right. But you grow tremendously to a point where you didn't think that you're capable of growing this far into yourself. Back to the final boss analogy. Imagine you're at the final boss stage. You're like, oh my God, it's so scary. They're so big. I'm gonna die. Da 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 da. Okay, you can either avoid the final boss or keep fighting the battle of the previous character before the final boss. And that's all you're gonna do for the rest of your life in that video game, and you're never gonna finish that video game. It's the same thing in life. You can either take accountability or you can keep repeating the same cycle over and over and over again. And you won't be able to conquer the next stage of your life if you don't take accountability. And here's the thing too, this video is clearly about emotional accountability. I don't care if you're able to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning. I don't care if you're able to cook food for yourself. Are you emotionally accountable? Because that's a quality trait that is so hard to find in people nowadays. And that's the quality trait that you should just be looking for. When you come to a point in life where you've held yourself accountable so many times emotionally, you expect that from other people. And that becomes like a quality trait that you value so much in the people that you surround yourself by. So keep working on holding yourself accountable, and I promise you, you're going to attract what is meant for you. And like I mentioned in the video, do not be a hypocrite, okay? If you're expecting someone to hold themselves accountable, please be the one that also holds themselves accountable and actively work on this skill. This is a skill that you need to always carry with you, and this is something that builds your character as a person and truly shows who you are as a person. There was a time in my internship where they asked me, oh, did you pay attention to what went on in the meeting? And I bluntly was like, nope. And I could see the look on their faces of disappointment. So I held myself accountable. What did I start doing? I started writing daily emails to my mentor about everything I learned that day and everything that I retained from every single meeting. I held myself accountable. I went from never ever listening to any of the meetings during my internship to now listening to every single detail of the meeting, even details that are like, why am I paying attention to this? I listened to them. I held myself accountable. Or even in friendships, I hurt your feeling. I am so sorry. I'm going to hold myself accountable because I value our friendship and I don't want my immaturity or I don't want something that I'm lacking to affect you. And the same thing vice versa. Hey, I didn't appreciate that you did this, and they respect that I'm telling them and I'm holding them accountable. Boom, that friendship is going to get stronger. Accountability builds bonds. Same thing in relationship. You rather walk away or you rather work on it and hold each other accountable. Other than that, I hope this video helps you guys out with whatever situation you're with. And I know that you guys are going to overcome it. And I hope I gave you guys some advice or a different perspective on the importance of accountability. And again, do not be a hypocrite when it comes to accountability. Hold yourself accountable as well. And I will see you guys in the next video.